force triangle, the escalation of force continuum, things that happen under stress that
The
people
deadly
just aren't
force
thinking.
triangle. Why don't you elaborate a little?
So the deadly force triangle is what we kind of use. I like to simplify things, and so to me that triangle, there's three segments to that triangle: ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. Those three things have to exist in order for somebody to pull out a gun and use lethal force. And so if one of those things is missing, your self-defense claim goes right out the window. And so, and you'll hear some of those things like jeopardy, you can replace with imminence. How imminent.
So is that a perceived threat, or is that an actual threat?
And this is where it gets complicated. This is why I love talking about the law with people, because a lot of people want to hang their hat on the law, and I apologize, I'm getting over a cold. So, the law is there to protect us and to help us, but it can also be our worst nightmare. So, in asking that question, it's not always just like yes, no, right, wrong. I mean, there are so many intricacies to that whole thing that, number one common question I get asked in the class: if somebody's in my house, can I shoot them? Well, yeah, you can. There's nothing stopping you, and maybe the law says that you can because it's implied that they're there to do, it's assumed or implied, and I think that's some of the terminology they use in this actual law for trespassing, right? We know what happens when we assume, and like I always point out to people, do you want to be that person? Because I've got story after story in my email box as an instructor of parents shooting kids, or son's best friend or daughter. There have been 5 cases in the last couple of years of shootings in the home where it was a loved one, or it was somebody that was the neighbor kid that thought he was crawling into his window in a drunk stupor. And so I always tell people, you can, and it is implied that they're there to do felony activity, but do you want to be the one that has to live with the social and religious and all the other aftermaths of this thing, and live with that on your conscience? And in another episode, I'll talk about some of those stories that have, getting broken into at the pawn shop while I was working late, and just some of those things that happen, and the mentality you go through as that I went through as a 17-year-old versus now. And I think, man, I'm so glad it turned out the way it did, because if it didn't, I may not even be here as an instructor today,
Right.
because some of those things shaped my thinking. And